This class is focusing on hip opening and also glutes, so it's really great for runners, cyclists, like also all of us desk workers. It's turned into quite a full-on class. If you can't do all the poses, that's perfectly fine. If you need a break at any point, you can stand in Tadasana, just standing straight, or you could come into a child's pose, so just like that. Take a little break. Feel free, it's your yoga practice, it's your session. Don't feel like you need to torture yourself. Also, what could be quite handy at times if you have a block, if you don't have a block, you could just use a nice thick book and just have that at the front of your mat, ready to be used throughout the class. And also at the end of the class, when we're in the seated stretches, you might be wanting a belt, or you could use a towel or even an old t-shirt to just sort of add a bit of length to your arms. That would be really helpful. Other than that, I hope you enjoy the session and yeah, have fun. As you lie in child's pose, start to breathe in and out through the nose, slowing your breath, arriving on the mat, not thinking about anything that's happened this morning or happened this week already, not thinking about anything that is going to come, just being present for the next hour, hour and a half, taking that time for yourself. Flying here, slowing down, slowing the mind, slowing the breath. Feeling how with every inhale your abdomen expands and presses against your thighs. And on the exhale, the abdomen moves in, away from the thighs. Inhale, feel how your ribs expand, your back broadens. Exhale, feel how you're sinking down. Inhale, feel your chest move up, fill with air. Exhale, feel your chest melt down, closer to the mat. Keep breathing in that way, feeling the breath in your full lungs, the abdomen, the ribs, and the upper chest. Trying to keep your inhales and exhales even. And as you breathe here, maybe bring your attention to the quality, the character of the inhalation and exhalation. Feel how the inhalation feels a lot more active, like it's got borders and it's more confined. You inhale until you can't get any more air into your lungs, and then you exhale. The exhale here feels a lot more smooth, more passive. I like the picture of the waves on the beach, on the shore, and the inhalation is the waves moving onto the beach, not being able to move any further depending on the momentum. And the exhalation, the waves move back, but also the water sinks into the sand, smoother, more diffuse than the inhalation. Take a few more breaths here. With the next inhale, bring your hands under your shoulders and gently press into your hands and come into a kneeling position. You're going to stay kneeling for a little moment. If you have a block handy or you want to get one, you can do that now, or you can also get a nice big book. And you might be needing that later on. Also, you might be needing a belt later on if you want, or a towel or whatever, but you don't have to use them. And with what we're going to do now before we do our wrist cat mobilization and cat cow, we're going to mobilize our toe joints. So for that, we're going to sit down, we're going to tuck our toes in our kneeling position. So you're going to tuck your toes and knees either to the floor, or you can rest them on your block or your book or whatever. And we're just going to sit here for a moment, and I'm going to use a timer. It doesn't feel like much to begin with, but we're going to sit here for a little while, and we're just going to see how unpleasant this pose is. I really like this because I think it really helps later on in plank with the, I don't know, just I feel like it really helps with getting your toes in a really nice firm place when you're in plank. And I also think this is a fantastic stretch for runners. And it's just something that we don't really do. One of my yoga teachers often says that if we treated our hands as badly as we treat our feet, we wouldn't be able to write. And I think that is actually quite true, knowing how badly I treat my feet sometimes, like especially women wearing heels and everything. So we've been sitting almost for a minute now in this tuck toe position, and you can tell how it's getting more and more unpleasant. Obviously, if it's very unpleasant, just come out. You ideally want to have your big toes touching, and maybe have a bit of a play around of seeing if you can bring your heels together and then move them apart. And when your heels are a bit further apart, you can bring your little toes also to the ground, which, or I can, which stretches like the whole front of the foot, whereas if you bring your heels closer together, that stretch really goes into the big toe joint. So just playing around with that. And yeah, I think this is a really nice thing to maybe see if you can bring that into your daily routine. I try to do this every day in the morning for 2 minutes, which we are about to get to, so we can come out of it. Well, obviously come out of it whenever it's enough. But if you want to come out of it now, we've been in it for 2 minutes. Just come off the block, sit in kneeling again without your book, without your block. And just to do a little counter stretch, we've stretched our toe joints this way now. Stretch the back of our foot. We're going to bring our hands just behind us, just along our hips, fingertips to the ground. I'm going to see if we can rock back, lifting our knees off the mat. Try to keep your body quite over your hips. And if you want, if you have a bit of balance, you can bring your hands into heart center. I'm just going to be here for 10, 8, 7, I forgot 9, didn't I? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rock back forward. Definitely need to work on my counting there. And now we're going to just sit on, like with our legs stretched out, sit on our bums, feet in front of us, toes tucked. Again, bring your hands next to your hips, and we're going to flex our feet so that our toes are pointing to the ceiling, to the sky, and then we're going to point them like a ballerina. Flex, again, point like a ballerina. Flex and point, flex, point. Let's do 3 more. 2 and 1. And I don't know if you start to feel that in the muscles on your shins. I do. And 1 more toe mobilization. So we're going to spread our toes as wide as we can, and then we're going to make like a little fist with our toes as if we're trying to pick something off of the floor. And again, spread them as wide as we can and scrunch them up. Spread them really wide, scrunch them up,
2 more. Spread, together, spread, together. Great, you can bring your knees into your chest, maybe give yourself a little hug if you want feet on, toes on the ground, or you can lift them off and let go. And we're going to come into our tabletop now. So in tabletop, we're going to do our wrist mobilization first, but let's have our knees hip width apart, knees under hips, and hands shoulder width apart, under shoulders, hands, elbows and shoulders stacked. And we're going to do our wrist mobilization, so look, rocking forward, rocking back. If you rock back, you could come into a child's pose if you want, rock forward, make those movements as big or as small as you want. They can be really small little rocks, don't hurt your wrists. We just want to warm them up before we do our down dogs and everything. Maybe have 2 more rocks either way, and then once you've done your 2 rocks, come back into center. Lovely. We're going to turn our hands in now, so for that we're probably going to bring our hands quite a bit closer to our knees. So we're going to turn them so that the thumbs are facing the edge of the mat, are pointing outwards, and our fingers are pointing inwards. And we're going to rock back and forward here. Probably much smaller movement, quite an intense stretch on the inside of that forearm, the inside of the wrist, going into the palm even. As you rock back, the heel of your hand will probably lift off. That's perfectly fine. Fingers nice and wide here as well. 1 more rock and we come to center, placing our hands back to how they were initially. And now we're going to turn the back of the hand, one hand at a time around. So the back of the hand is on the mat, the fingers are pointing to our knees again, palms facing us, palm facing us, and we're going to rock very gently here. Very small movement, just stretching the wrist again in a different way. Waking our wrist up, fingers really spread wide, trying to press the little finger and the thumb also into the mat. And 1 more rock and we'll come into center, placing our hand down, again flipping it around and doing the other hand. So back of the hand on the mat, fingers pointing to our knees, palm up, fingers nice and wide, and we rock here very gently a couple of times. Obviously, any shooting pains in your wrists, stop doing this. We don't want to hurt your wrists. And we're going to come to center. We're going to sit on our heels again, just quickly. We're going to shake our wrists out. Maybe stretch the arms out, make a fist, stretch our fingers, make a fist, stretch our fingers, make a fist, stretch our fingers, and back to tabletop. We are going to again, place our hands, set ourselves up properly, so hands on shoulders, wrists, elbows, shoulders in line, knees, shoulder width apart, hip width apart, under hips. And we're going to come into our cat-cow with the breath. So on the inhale, we're arching our spine, we're looking to the ceiling, to the sky, bringing our shoulder blades together, maybe bending the elbows a little bit if you want. Exhale. Rounding the spine, pressing the shoulder blades apart, pressing the floor away, tucking the pelvis, chin to chest. Inhale, arching the spine again into this cow, really exaggerating that arch. Exhale, rounding the spine, looking to the belly button. Exhale, squeezing all the air out. Inhale, cow. Imagine you've got a baby elephant sitting on your lower back, really arching. Exhale, pressing the ground away, squeezing all the air out like you're wringing out a wet towel. Inhale, 1 more time for cow. Exhale, 1 more time for cat. And at the end of this exhale, coming into a neutral spine. We're tucking our toes and we're going to lift our knees up slowly and we're going to come into our first downward dog. of the class. We set our downward dog up properly. So again, our hands are really spread wide, fingers are super wide, like a starfish. We're pressing the ground again, away again. Shoulder blades are pushing apart, shoulders away from the ears. This movement should create like a capital U or horseshoe shape. Lovely, everyone. Our back is nice and flat. We're engaging our abs. We're looking towards the space between our toes. If you have a flat back, you need to bend your knees. Please bend your knees. My first down dog, or the first few, I always would bend knees because you need to warm up those hamstrings. If you want to further warm up your hamstrings, warm up your calves, you can walk your dog. You can just walk your feet here a little bit. Bring one heel down, straighten the other leg. Bring the heel down, bending the other leg. Just moving here, waking up those muscles, those joints. Maybe you're already feeling that having that toe stretch makes your feet feel a lot more awake already. Find stillness now. Setting up your dog again. Having a breath here, noticing how everything's set up so that we know what we're doing throughout the class. And now slowly taking little baby steps to the front of your mat, stopping with your feet behind your hands, knees bent, and just hanging here for a moment. If you want, you can hold your elbows with the opposite hand, just hanging here, really letting gravity work, and swinging from side to side, stretching one leg, then the other. You can also let go of your elbows, and if you prefer, draw your fingers over the ground. And going to stop in the center. Going to grab the left ankle with the right hand. Going to bring our left hand on our lower back. We're stretching that left leg, bending the right leg, and looking over our shoulder, over our left shoulder to the sky, to the ceiling. Or if that's uncomfortable for your neck, looking to the ground. And really waking up the hamstrings, the glutes here, bringing a bit of movement in our back as well. Staying for one more breath. And on the exhale, letting go, hanging in center again for a moment. And now grabbing the right ankle with the left hand, right hand on the lower back, straightening that right leg, really nice, and twisting over, looking over the shoulder, really stretching that right leg, or looking to the ground if that's more comfortable. Maybe play around with your weight here, shifting your weight back and forward. I personally find that when I shift my weight forward a little bit, I feel that stretch in the right leg, glutes and everywhere a lot more intensely. One more breath. Inhale. And let go on the exhale. Hanging in the middle again. Hanging in center for one moment, and now bending the knees quite a bit so that your abdomen is pressing against your thighs. Bring your chin to your chest, and we're going to roll up slowly. Coming through the back first, slowly starting to straighten your legs. Coming up very gently, and your head, your chin is the thing that raises last. Beautiful. All right. Great. Perfect. Now that we're standing here, we're just going to maybe have a little shoulder roll. Bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and down, forward, up, back, and down. Feeling how our shoulder blades move apart. As we move back, they're almost touching. As we move forward, they're really going apart. And the other direction, forward, down, back, and up. Really bring your arms into this movement as well. Bring the arms forward. And when we're down next, we're going to stop in center. Lovely. We're going to come to Tadasana, mountain pose, to set us up for our Flow. So we're coming to feet together, ideally, but if you prefer to have your feet hip width apart, that's perfectly fine. Traditional yoga pose is feet touching, but if that's not comfortable for you, then go with whatever you prefer. Feet together, toes touching. We're going to lift all our toes off the floor again and spread them out really wide so that you can see the ground through your toes. And now we're going to lower our toes one at a time, starting with the little toe, then the fourth toe, the middle toe, second toe, and the big toe. Or maybe you're still seeing a little bit of mat here. And now I quite like to do this. I like to raise my heels a little bit and then place my heels down. I feel like that gives me really nice firm grounding. And whenever we start a sun salutation at the front of the mat again, maybe have a think about placing your feet down again. Every time we start from the front, we want our feet grounded like this. For Tadasana, we're going to engage our perineum, pelvic floor. Just pull that up and in a little bit. We're going to our Mudra Bandha, that is. Then we're going to engage our abdomen, lower abdomen, bring that a bit tight, tense those muscles. The Uddiyana Bandha, that keeps our lower half really nice and tight as we go into forward folds and protects our lower back. We're going to roll our shoulders up, back and down again, opening our chest a little bit, shoulder blades coming a bit together, palms facing forward. Going to come up nice and tall. Imagine someone's pulling you by a hook that's on the top of your head, really nice and tall, but we're tucking our chin a tiny bit so that the back of the neck is nice and flat. Take a breath here. Just feel how solid we're standing, really nice and grounded, like a mountain. I'm going to inhale, bring our hands up over our head. As we come here, going to already pull our shoulders down, shoulders away from the ears again. If you want, you can look to the thumbs. If bringing the hands to touch is uncomfortable, have them apart. Exhale, we're falling down nice and firm in the abs to protect our lower back. Hands by the side of the feet. If you need to bend your knees at the moment, that's perfectly fine. For a forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. We're bringing our hands to our shins. We're looking down straight in front of us. Exhale, hands down. We're stepping back with the right foot, followed by the left foot into this plank. And let's stay in plank for 1 second and feel how our toes are feeling after that horrible stretch we did earlier. I find that after doing that stretch, plank feels a lot more, solid, and yeah, just feel like this. I was like, okay, that's how it's supposed to feel. All right, now on the exhale, we're bringing our knees down, chest and chin down. So in this 8-point pose, really nice, a bum in the air, Ashtangasana. Inhale, we're sliding forward into our cobra. We're untucking the toes, elbows nice and tight into the body, shoulders down, shoulder blades together. We're looking forward. Exhale, we're tucking the toes. We're either pressing back into child's pose and then up into down dog or straight into down dog. In down dog, if you want to walk your feet a little bit forward, that's perfectly fine if your stand was a bit too long. Pressing into the hands really nice and wide, remembering what we did at the beginning of the class. Shoulder blades apart, shoulders away from the ears, looking to the space between the toes. Flat back, if we need to bend our knees, bend our knees. The aim is at some point to get our heels closer to the ground, but that's not necessary, and for some people anatomically not necessarily possible. Really nice, everyone. Beautiful. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Breathing in and out through the nose, through the whole class. With the next exhale, we're going to step our right foot in between our hands, followed by the left foot. Inhale, hands to shins, half forward fold. Exhale, hands by the side of the feet, full forward fold, forehead to shin if you can. Inhale, engaging the abs and coming up with a nice flat back. Hands together over the head or apart if that's better. And exhale, hands into heart center. Lovely. I'm going to maybe spread our toes again, setting up our feet every time we start our sun salutation. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, we're folding down, engaging the abs. hands by the side of the feet. In this full forward fold, Uttanasana, imagine when your hands are on the ground, no matter whether your knees are bent or not, you're pushing the mat forward. That will help you get deeper into that fold. Inhale, hands to shins, looking down, half forward fold. Exhale, hands down, stepping back with the left foot, followed by the right foot, in our plank. In plank, we're pushing the ground away. Our shoulder blades are moving apart, shoulders away from the ears. The arm shape is very similar to the shape in down dog. And we're also pushing our heels away. So we're very long and also broad. Exhale, knees, chest and chin down. Inhale, we're sliding forward into our cobra, shoulders down, elbows in the body, untucking the toes. Exhale, tucking the toes and pushing into a down dog. Again, stepping in if we need to. And resting in down dog once we've set it up properly. Breathing here. Finding stillness in down dog. With the next exhale, we're stepping our left foot in between our hands, followed by the right foot. Inhale, hands to shins, looking down, half forward fold. Exhale, hands by the side of the feet, full forward fold, and try pushing that mat forward again. Inhale, engaging the abs, and flat back, we're coming up, hands together overhead. And exhale, hands into heart center. One more time, then we start adding to our flow. Inhale, coming up, nice and tall. Exhale, folding down, full forward fold, maybe a bit warmer now. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, hands down, stepping back with the right foot, followed by the left foot in our plank, and straight down, knees, chest, chin, into our Ashtangasana, 8-point pose. Inhale, cobra, elbows in. Exhale, tucking the toes. I'm coming into our down dog.
I don't know that.
Sorry. Okay, and staying in our down dog for a few more breaths. And at the end of the next inhale, we're stepping forward on the exhale with the right foot, followed by the left foot. Inhale, hands to shins, half forward fold. Exhale, full forward fold, forehead to shins. Inhale, engaging the abs, coming up. And exhale, hands into heart center. Great job, guys. One more time. On the left, inhale, raising the arms. Exhale, folding down, full forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, half forward fold. In the half forward fold, maybe experiment a little bit with bringing your center of gravity a bit more forward or backward. You want to have the same engagement, the same stretch in half forward fold and full forward fold. Exhale, hands down, stepping back with the left foot, followed by the right foot, into plank, coming straight down, knees, chest, chin, Ashtangasana. Inhale, coming into our cobra, untucking the toes, toes pointing back. Exhale, tucking the toes, coming into down dog. Stepping the feet in if you want. Setting our down dog up every time with the same curiosity, the same care. Maybe feeling, how does this down dog feel now? If you feel that you need to walk your heels, walk your heels. It's your down dog, it's your yoga practice. The next exhale, we're stepping our left foot forward, followed by the right foot. Inhale, hands to shins, half forward fold. Exhale, hands down, full forward fold. Inhale, engaging the abs, coming up. Exhale, hands into heart center. Lovely. I think we're all getting a bit warmer. Looks like the sunshine is coming out too. Alright, let's keep going. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, folding down. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half forward fold. If you're warmer, you could do your half forward fold with your fingertips to the ground, below your shoulders, to have a bit more of an intense stretch now, or still have your hands to your shins. Exhale, we're stepping back with the right foot, and we're going to lower the right knee now, untuck the right toes, and come up into the slow lunge. Bring your hands on your thigh. We're just going to stay here in the slow lunge for a breath or two. Press the back of your right foot into the mat to intensify that stretch. Have your hips and your shoulders stacked on top of each other, nice and square, facing the front of the mat. And feeling that stretch in our right hip flexor, maybe in our left hip flexor as well. Great for runners. Great stretch. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down, tucking the right toes, lifting the knees, stepping back into plank and coming down. Knees, chest, chin, or if you want to try, you could do a chaturanga, rocking forward onto your toes and coming down into a low pressure. And then you would come into an upward dog. So the only thing that's touching the ground are the tops of your feet and your hands. If you prefer, come still down, knees, chest, chin, and cobra. If you're an up dog, we're rolling over our toes. We're coming into the down dog straight away, so nothing is touching the ground in the transition from chaturanga to up dog to down dog, other than the backs, the feet, and the hands. Staying here for one breath. I'm going to lift our right leg up now. First, keeping it in line with our body. Staying here, that's probably a whole lot lower. To have your hips still stacked next to each other, neutral. Stay here for one breath. Lovely, everyone, really nice. And with the next breath, we're going to open our hips, meaning that, and bend our knees. So we're going to try to kick ourselves in the bum with our right heel, opening the hip. Try to press into both hands equally, and we're looking under our right armpit. Lovely, everyone, great. See if you can bend your knee a little bit more. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to bring bring our right foot down, back into down dog. And now we're going to step forward with the right foot. I'm going to come up into a high lunge. So again, hands on the legs, you can bring them on your hips, whatever feels better for you. And here, you want to again, shoulders and hips stacked on top of each other, facing the front. Your back leg, the left leg, is nice and straight too. So you're really pushing through that knee. You're pushing the back heel back as well, so the back leg is really active. And see if you can maybe sink a little bit deeper into that bend of the right leg. Really working that back thigh, but also feeling the stretch in your hamstring on the left now and maybe on the right as well. One more breath, inhale, hands down, exhale, stepping forward. Inhale, half forward fold, fingertips to ground or hands to shins. Exhale, coming down, full forward fold, and inhale, coming up. Exhale, hands into heart center. Again, maybe setting our feet up as we did at the beginning. You can imagine the other side is coming. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, folding down, nice and straight. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, stepping back with the left foot this time, lowering the knee, untucking the toes, and coming into the slow lunge. Again, hands can be on the thigh. You could have them here, you could just on your hips, or you could have them just alongside the body, whatever feels best. Pressing the top, the back of the left foot into the mat to get that, to activate that stretch in the hip flexor a bit more. Really nice. Making sure that you keep your right knee above your ankle. You don't want it to protrude forward too much. That's quite unsafe on your knee. Inhale, exhale. Inhale with the next exhale, hands down, either side of the front foot, tucking the back toe, lifting the knee, stepping back and coming down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, whatever you prefer. Sliding forward, cobra or up dog. Exhale, pressing into our down dog. Setting up a down dog, maybe walking the feet in a little bit. Staying for one breath. And with the next inhale, we're going to raise the left leg now, and first keeping it in line with our spine and keeping the hips in line as well. And what you can maybe feel when you come up in this three-legged dog is that your heel of the leg that is on the floor, the foot that's on the floor, is probably coming a lot closer to the ground, maybe even touching it. Inhale, we're opening our left hips, or bending the left knee, trying to kick us in the bottom with the left foot, bending it as much as you can, pressing equally into both hands, looking under the left armpit. Great work. Stay here for one more breath. And bring that left foot down, coming into a down dog again for one breath. Maybe walking the heels a little bit if that feels good. And the next exhale, stepping the left foot forward. And we're going to come up, inhale, into this high lunge now on the left side. In this high lunge, where again, the right leg is really active. The knee is pushing through, the leg is straight. The right heel is pushing back, so it's pulling. Imagine someone's pulling you back by the heel. And we want to go nice and deep into that bend of the left hip, and thigh. Again, left knee and ankle are stacked on top. Our shoulders and hips are on top as well. You can either have your hand on your thigh, hand here. Really feel that stretch in the hip flexor, in the groin. Feel your legs working, really nice. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground, stepping forward with that right foot. Inhale, hands to shins, looking down, or fingertips to mat. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, coming up, with a nice flat back, abs engaged. And exhale, hands into heart center. Lovely. Whew. Definitely getting warmer. All right, we're going to keep going. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, folding down. Maybe we're feeling a bit smoother. Can get deeper into that forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, we're going to step down with the right foot now. We're going to place the heel down so that's a bit of an angle. The right toes are pointing towards the corner of your mat. We're going to come up into a warrior two from here. For warrior two, the front leg, the left leg in this case, is bent. Right leg is straight, arms are at shoulder level. Your body is in line with the long edge of your mat. You want to be really flat here. And again, making sure the knee doesn't go over the ankle. Lovely, everyone. Really strong warriors. We're looking towards the drishti, the focus point is the middle finger of that front hand, that left hand in this case. Really focus here. We're building focus one pose at a time. Working on our concentration as well as our strength, our flexibility. Two more breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, and with the next exhale, we're cartwheeling our hands down, we're coming onto the ball of the foot for the back foot, stepping back into our plank, coming down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Lovely, everyone. And exhale, downward dog. Beautiful. Downward dog, we're raising our right leg and straight away bending it to open our hip here. Maybe pushing the right foot even further behind us to activate that hip a bit more. Staying for one breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale. We're stepping forward. The foot comes down a little bit before our hands. And inhale, coming up. Both legs are straight. Arms are at our shoulder height, and we're preparing for Tikonasana. So inhale, someone is pulling us by that front hand until we can't go any further. And exhale, we're falling down. You can bring your hand to your shin, or if you have a block near, you can bring your hand on a block as well. Exhale. Hand on the block, hand on the shin works just as well. Or if you want to go deeper, fingertips to the ground. In this pose, bring your shoulders away from your ears. Don't scrunch the shoulders up. You want to be really nice and flat in this pose. So stacking your hips on top of each other, your shoulders on top of each other. Lovely. That might mean that your fingertips are coming off the ground. And we're looking towards the top hand, that's the drishti. Or if that's uncomfortable, look towards your front big toe. Staying here for a few breaths. Feeling that stretch in the inner thigh on the right, feeling that stretch in our obliques, our side abdominal muscles on the left. Going to look down to our big toe now, and at the inhale we're going to come up. Lovely. Bring our hands onto our hips. If you have a block near or a book, go bring that to the front of your mat. And let's step in a little bit. Step your back foot in a tiny bit. And we're going to come into a balancing pose, half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. So for that, we're going to bring our right hand about 3 inches, 15 centimeters in front of our right foot. We're going to, again, if you want to have a block, it's perfectly fine. And you're lifting your back leg, the left leg, off the ground. Maybe bring your left hand on your hip. And you can stay here. If you don't need the block at such a high setting, you can just bring it down like that. Bring it down even further. Or if you want to bring the hand down, you can bring the hand or fingertips to the mat. And what you want to do working our balance quite a lot. What you want to do here is you want to stack your hips on top of each other. So you want to make yourself flat again. It's quite a lot of work. It will challenge your balance a lot. But try to do that. And we want to either point our foot like crazy or want to flex it. That helps with the balance, not like having it wobble. And bring the left leg, really lift it up tall. And if you want an extra challenge for your balance, you could raise your arm, the left arm, and try and look to the left hand. Staying here now for 2 breaths. And bringing that left hand down to the ground, removing the block if you have one, stepping back with the left foot, bringing the right foot back as well, in our plank. Now again, great job everyone, it's a lot of hard work. Coming down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, mixing it up if you want. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale, going to push back. Guess you can guess now what's coming, the other side. Going to raise our right leg to the ground, straight away to the ceiling, straight away opening. Oh, we did that just now, sorry. Left leg, straight away opening the hip. Maybe seeing if we can bring that left foot a bit further behind us for that opening. And on the next exhale, we're stepping that left foot forward, slightly before the hands. And coming up, both legs are straight. Inhale, we're raising our arms, and someone's pulling us by that left hand. Going really far forward. And when we can't go any further forward, we're coming down. Again, you could use a block here, or just place your hand on your shin. Lovely. And again, think about stacking your hips and shoulders on top of each other, making yourself really flat, feeling that stretch in the inner thigh and the obliques. Really nice. Breathing here. Drishti focus point is the top hand, the right hand in this case, or look down to your foot. And maybe feel how this side feels different to the other side. Not judging, just noticing. Maybe your obliques are a bit tighter here. Maybe your inner thigh is a bit less tight, who knows? Just noticing and getting to know our bodies. One more breath. And inhale, we're going to look at the front toe and we're going to come up. Place our hands on our hips. We're going to step in a tiny bit. And we're going to bring, if we want to block, bring that again about 3 inches, 15 centimeters in front of us. We're going to place our left hand on the block, slowly raising our foot up, or bringing that left hand on the ground and lifting the right foot off the mat. Very nice. Coming into this half moon pose, stacking our hips here on top of each other, shoulders on top of each other, either hand on, right hand on the right hip, or if you want more of a challenge, raising that arm up. Really great. And if you want a further challenge, look up to your top hand. We're going to bring the right hand down, and this time we're going to step the right foot next to the left foot straight away. Let's just hang down a little bit and maybe bend one knee at a time. Hands to the ground, maybe even lifting the heels of the mat, relieving that left standing leg that's just working so hard. Great. And on the next inhale, we're going to engage our abs, come up nice flat back. Exhale, hands into heart center. Lovely. Working hard today. Obviously at any time, if there's a pose you don't feel comfortable with, you can just get into child's pose or wait for us while we're doing any of the poses. Alright, next one. This is the last little sequence while we're standing. So inhaling, hands overhead, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, folding down, hands to the ground. Inhale, fingertips to mat or hands to shins. Exhale, hands down, stepping back with the left foot this time and coming into the warrior two on this side. So as we step back with the foot, we place our heel down, foot toes are pointing to the top corner of your mat, and inhale, cartwheeling our hands up, coming up here. The front knee, the right knee is bent, knee over ankle, so make sure that your knee doesn't fall in, but you want to press it out, you want to be able to see your big toe. Arms are at shoulder level, shoulders again not scrunched in, but nice and relaxed. Imagine someone is pulling you by the front hand and the back hand, your arms are really, really strong. Looking towards the middle finger of that right hand now. Being really flat, your body is in line with the long edge of your mat. Breathing here. This feels like a bit of a resting pose after those balances. Balances really work your cardiovascular system. They're quite tough poses. They raise the heart rate, that's for sure. One more breath, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, coming onto the ball of the back foot, stepping back with the right foot, coming into plank. Exhale, coming down, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, pushing back into our down dog, stepping our feet in a tiny bit again. Having nicely set up down dog here. Inhale, we're raising our right leg again. We're bending that knee, we're opening our hips again. Seeing if we can bring that foot even further behind us, looking under our armpit, staying here for one breath. And we're stepping into our Tikonasana again. So foot just behind the hands, coming up, both legs are straight, arms at shoulder level. And again, we're pulling forward with that right hand until we can't go any further. And then we're coming down into our Tikonasana. Breathing here for 2 breaths. And stacking up, getting ourselves nice and flat, looking to the top hand if you want. Now we're going to bring that left hand down. We're going to bring our hands either side of the front foot. We're coming onto the ball of the left foot, the back foot. We're going to step that foot in a little bit. We're lifting that leg. We're not coming into half moon, but into standing splits. So for standing splits, if this is as far as your leg goes, I'm not great in standing splits at all. If this is as far as you can lift your leg, perfect. If this is as far as you can lift your leg, amazing. Let's see how far you can go. Maybe see if you can bring your palms onto the ground and keep that standing leg, the right leg, nice and straight. And coming up, lifting that left leg as much as you can, keeping it straight, pointing the toes. When you feel like you can't go any further, this is my max, doesn't have to be crazy. You can see if you can maybe grab your ankle of the right ankle, the standing leg, with the right hand. And if you want to challenge your balance a lot, maybe see if you can also grab that ankle with the left hand. So the only thing that's touching the floor is your right foot. Challenging our balance, folding, trying to bring your forehead, crown of your head closer to the ground. And staying for 1 more breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, bring your hands back to the ground. Exhale, stepping the left foot back, stepping back with the right foot, coming into plank. Inhale and exhale, coming down, Ardha Chandrasana, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, coming up into up dog. Exhale, coming into a down dog pose. Taking down dog for 1 second. Breathing here. Relaxing in down dog after that balance. And with the next inhale, we're raising our left leg up and we're opening our hip again. See if we can bring that left foot further behind us, feeling that opening in the hip. Breathing here. And with the next inhale, we're stepping the left foot again, slightly behind the hands into our Tikonasana. We're coming up, arms are at shoulder levels. And inhale, someone is pulling us by that left hand until we can't go any further. Really go forward, forward, forward. Exhale, we're folding down. Staying here for 2 breaths. We're stacking our hips again, stacking our shoulders really flat. If that means that you're coming up really high, that's fine, but really stacking this up so you feel the stretch in your obliques, in your inner thighs. Breathing here. And the next inhale, we're bringing both our hands either side of the front foot of the left foot, stepping that back foot, the right foot in a tiny bit, and we're lifting the right leg up into our standing splits. Maybe bringing our palms down, trying to get our forehead closer to the shin and crown of the head pointing to the ground to come into these standing splits, lifting that right leg, pointing the right toes really straight. When you can't go any further, no matter where you are, you can see if you want to challenge your balance, hold your left ankle with the left hand. If you want to challenge even further, hold the left foot with the right hand, the left ankle with the right hand. Ooh. Really working the balance hard here. Stay here for another breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, bring both hands to the mat. Exhale, stepping that right foot next to the left foot. Going to hang here for 1 moment. Just hang, enjoy the release. Maybe bending the knees a little bit, just relaxing for a moment. Breathing in and out through the nose again. Inhale, we're straightening our legs. Exhale, coming into a full forward fold. Inhale, coming up, flat back. Exhale, hands to heart center. This is a lot more intense than I expected it to be. Just had sweat roll into my eye. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, last one to come to the floor. Let's just stand in Tadasana for one moment, reconnecting to our breath, reconnecting to the ground. Just feet nice and firmly grounded, lower body firm, shoulders down and away from the ears. Closing the eyes here if that feels good. Breathing in and out. Inhale, we're going to raise our arms, looking towards the thumbs if you want. Exhale, folding down. Full forward fold. See how that's feeling now, that we're so nice and warm. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, stepping down into plank. Come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. One last time. Exhale, up, inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, pushing into our down dog. Going to raise that right leg one more time. Open the hips one more time. Breathing here for one. Now with the next inhale, bringing that right shin forward. Left foot behind the left hand, right knee behind the right hand. And we're lowering the back knee, lowering the left knee, untucking the toes. If you want, you can walk your left foot back a tiny bit. Going to do pigeon or Kapotasana. What I've started to do in my personal practice is that I quite like to bring the left hand here onto the sole of the left foot and the right hand on my thigh, sort of halfway over the thigh. Just rest here for a moment if you can find a balance. I find that sort of encourages the right hip to open, the right glutes closer to the ground. If you want here, feel, there's a bit more room, you could walk your back foot back a little bit, the left foot. Just staying here for a moment. In pigeon, the more parallel your shin is to the front of your mat, the more intense it is. If you want to take some of the steam out of this pose, just bring your foot in a tiny bit. Still is the right pose, it's still the same thing, but you want to do the pose and be able to stay in it. You don't want to torture yourself too much. One more breath here. And we're going to come down, hands under our shoulders. If you want, you can stay here if that's enough. Otherwise, you could come onto your elbows. And if you want to go even further, you could bring your forehead to the mat, or you could use your hands as a pillow. If your forehead's to the mat, you can have your arms straight out. You can stay here for a few breaths. In this pose, again, think of your shoulders and hips sort of stacked on top of each other or squared. Imagine you've got a A4 piece of paper on your chest and you don't want that to sort of move at all. You want it to stay really nice and straight. By that, keeping your hips and shoulders in a nice alignment. Breathing in and out through the nose, sending the breath to wherever we're feeling that stretch the most. This pose never gets comfortable, I find, but it's fantastic stretch. Again, great for running, but also we sit so much. It's brilliant to just stretch out the glutes. The next inhale, we're bringing our hands under our shoulders and pressing up here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to drop onto our right glutes. And now we're going to bring our left leg forward. We're going to come into Janshasana. We're going to bring the screen down. Into our lovely Janshasana. So for Janshasana, we now have the left leg straight, right leg bent, the right sole of the foot is against the inner thigh. And we're going to do this micro twist over the straight leg. And what I mean with that is that you just sit really relaxed in this pose. Your body is or your chest is pointing over the space between your legs. What you want to do is you want to twist your body so that your chest is going over the straight leg. So just a little, if you look, this is how it normally sits. The little thing that I do is just almost bringing that left shoulder a little bit back, the right shoulder a bit forward so that the body is pointing over that straight leg. Bring our hands either side of our hips here, pressing into the hands, sitting nice and tall. Inhale and exhale, we're folding down, we're folding from the hip, not from the shoulders, but from the hip, trying almost like a jackknife, a folding knife to come down. If this is all you can do, that's fine. Grab wherever you can hold, whether that's your calf, your ankle, your foot, that's all perfectly valid. Inhaling here one more time and exhale, maybe pulling yourself down a tiny bit. You want to press, keep the leg really nice and straight, nice and firm to work on those hamstrings, on those calves, on the knees as well. Your feet are tucked, toes pointing, feet are flexed, toes pointing to the ceiling, and your drishti, your focus point, is your big toes, keeping the neck nice and elongated. Breathing here, not bouncing, just nice and steady. If after a few breaths you feel that you've become more comfortable where you are, maybe see if you can come a bit deeper, engaging the abs, coming down from the hip again. Next inhale, we're going to come up here, slowly walk our hands up the leg to come into seated Santa. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring our right knee up to point to the ceiling, and we're going to do a really nice little twisty stretch. For that, we're going to step our right foot over our left leg, so the right foot is now on the outside of the left leg, and we can hug that right leg with our left arm and look over our shoulder. If you find this really easy and you want to have a little bit more, you could let go of that twist, bend the left leg and bring the foot sort of next to your bum and stretch, hug here, again looking over your shoulder and stretch here. If you want to go a tiny bit deeper still and you feel you can twist more, you can bring that left elbow to the outside of the right knee and see if you can maybe grab your foot. But wherever you are, it's perfectly fine. It's this pose, or this pose, or this pose. It's all brilliant. Just enjoying this twist, pulling our right shoulder back, looking over the right shoulder. Breathing here, feeling our abdomen on the inhale, pressing against the right thigh, massaging our abdomen. On the next inhale, we're letting go of the hold of our knee, of our right knee, coming through center, bringing our feet together for a little cobbler pose, just for one moment, sitting here nice and tall. And now crossing our legs and coming into a tabletop. In tabletop, when you're there, we're going to lift our legs, our knees off the floor, coming into the very last down dog for today. Lifting that left leg, opening the hip one more time. Staying for 2 breaths, lovely everyone. And the next inhale, we'll bring that left foot behind the right hand, left knee behind the left hand, dropping the back knee, the right knee, and tucking the toes. Maybe walking the right foot back a little bit. Going to, if you want to do that little sort of hand thing that I do, right hand on the sole of the left foot, left hand on the thigh, and just pressing, see if we can press our glutes here down to the ground. If you find this really difficult, you can always use a block as well in your book in Pigeon. That's quite nice. I'm going to stay here. One more breath. Nice. And next inhale, bring our hands under our shoulders. If you want to stay here, that's perfect. Want to come a bit deeper, you can come onto your elbows. If you want to come deeper still, you can bring your forehead either onto your hands as a little pillow or onto the ground and stretch your arms out in front of you. Here again, squaring your hips and your shoulders so that they're nice and aligned, and we're going to breathe into wherever we feel the stretch. Enjoy the release in the glutes. Breathing in and out through the nose. Next inhale, we're bringing the hands under our shoulders. Exhale, we're pressing up. We're going to again drop onto our left glutes here. We're going to bring our right leg out in front of us for Chandrasana. So, right foot flexed, pointing to the ceiling. Left foot, sole of the foot is into the inner thigh. And again, if you just sit here, relax here for a moment, you can see that your chest is going through the space between your legs. So what we want to do is bring the hands either side of our hips and square our shoulders so that our chest points over that straight leg. Inhale, we're pressing into those hands. Exhale, we're folding down from the hip like a jackknife, holding either our calf, our ankle, our foot, wherever you can reach. If you have a belt, you could also grab the belt and hold on to that, or a towel or a t-shirt. Inhale, breathing here. Really keeping that right leg straight to feel that stretch, to work on that stretch. Once you become a bit more comfortable, once your muscles are getting used to that stretch, maybe inhaling, straightening up a bit, exhaling, pulling down a bit more. Drishti, focus point are your toes, the big toes, so your neck is nice and straight. Your neck is an extension of your spine. Okay, next inhale, we're lifting our chest a little bit and then we're letting go wherever we're holding. We're slowly walking our hands up. Now we're going to the same thing we did on the other side. So we're bringing our left knee up, pointing to the ceiling or the sky. And now we're going to step that left foot over our right leg. So the left foot is on the outside of the left leg. We can hug our knee here and twisting over and looking over our left shoulder. If you feel you want to go a bit deeper, you can bend that right leg so it's on the the foot is on the outside of your, it's next to your left glutes. Hugging here, inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, twisting over. And if you want to go deeper still, try and get your right elbow on the outside of that left left knee and see if you can bind. And look over. But wherever you are, whether you're holding the foot in the full pose, half Lord of the Fish, Matsyendrasana, or whether you're just hugging your knee, whether your leg is straight, or brilliant, but looking over the shoulder. Breathing here, again feeling how on the inhale, the abdomen is expanding, pressing against the left thigh. Exhale, moving in, getting a little massage for your abdomen, your inner organs. Lovely. On the next inhale, we're going to look forward, and wherever you are, we're going to release that arm, We're going to come back into our cobbler pose, sole of the feet together. Sole of the feet together. We're going to sit here for one moment, maybe let's move our knees up and down like a butterfly. Sitting up nice and tall. And maybe taking that movement out. Sitting in stillness here. If you want, you can try and hinge forward a little bit. Again, hinge forward here. The movement is coming out of the hip, not rounding down, but moving forward. Maybe if you can, using your elbows as you are here to press down your thighs. Breathing here for a few breaths. Inhale, we're coming up, bringing our knees together gently, having a little hug here. Again, you can have the toes on the ground, or if you want to lift them up, forehead to the knees. Little cosmic egg, as some people say. Just breathing into this little pose, giving ourselves a hug. Now we're going to place our feet down. Let go of our knees. We're going to stretch our legs out now. I'm going to come into a wide-legged forward fold. So for that, I'm going to bring your legs as wide as you can. If this is it, that's fine. No competition with anyone. And what we want to do is, actually, looked into this earlier, we want to floint our toes. So we've got flex, we've got point, but we want to be somewhere in between. So a yoga teacher of mine said it's Barbie feet. So your feet are a little bit sort of pointed, but the toes are also pointing up. If you want to have a little bit of play with both of them, you see that when you flex your feet really, really intensely, your calves are really engaged, and the inside of your knees is really far away from the ground. If you point your toes, you kind of have the same thing. The calves are really engaged, and again the inside of the knees is quite far away. But if you do this halfway house, your legs are a lot flatter on the ground because the calves are not as tight, not as engaged. So what we want is Barbie feet. We're going to bring our hands behind our glutes, and we're going to press here, and we're going to press into our hands and just sit here nice and tall. If you can, if you want to, this is perfect, if this is what you can do. If you want to give it a go, you could hold on to bring your hands into the center, or you could hold onto your calves, whatever feels better, or maybe your thighs, wherever you can reach. And you can maybe see if you can fold forward here. Maybe hold your ankles, and again, try to keep in mind that we don't want to round through our shoulders. We don't want to bring our shoulders to our ears. We want to be nice and flat, hinging from the hip. So wherever you can hold there. Maybe you can reach the feet. Yeah, just stay wherever you can. Just stay here for a moment. Wherever you are, let's slowly walk our hands up, come up slowly. And again, bringing our knees together and having that little hug. From the hug here, we're going to rock back. We're going to come onto our backs. But if you want to play around, you could rock up and down a little bit, give your back a little massage. That feels good. But at some point, end to lying on the ground. Really nice. We are going to bring our feet hip width apart, the knees are pointing to the ceiling, and we're going to see if we can bring our feet really, really close to our glutes. And what you can also try is see if you can maybe reach your heels, touch your heels with your hands. If you can't, no worry, but it's quite a nice way of testing how close your heels are to your glutes to see if you can reach them. We're going to come into a really gentle back bend or a little gentle inversion, Salutation, bridge pose. So for that, our legs are set up, our arms are alongside our body, palms into the mat, and we're going to inhale, we're going to tuck our pelvis. Then we're going to raise our middle back, then the upper back, raising our hips to the ceiling, but also our chest to our chin. If you want, you could see if you could clasp your hands under your back, and maybe see if you can come onto the balls of your shoulders a bit more. Bring your shoulder blades super close together. Stay here for 5 breaths, if comfortable. If not, you could just hug your knees into your chest, lying on the ground, not being in this inversion. Staying here for another 3 breaths. If you are clasping your hands under your back, let go of that. Let go of the hands, and then we're going to come down with the upper back, middle back, if you're rolling down the pole necklace, lower back, and then letting go, releasing the pelvis. Maybe hug your knees into your chest now, holding them in one moment, and setting our feet down again with the knees pointing to the ceiling. And we're going to bring our right foot or the right ankle just sort of between your groin, your hip and your knee. So you've got your sort of a figure 4 here, just resting your foot on, perfect everyone. And this is another really great glute stretch, perfect for runners, perfect for all of us sitting so much, short cycling, this really helps as well. And you can stay here if that's enough, maybe push that right knee away gently with the right hand. If you want to go a bit deeper, you could lift that left foot off the ground and come through the space with the right hand, the space that is between your right and left thigh. The left hand goes alongside the outside of the left thigh, and you can grab behind your left thigh so that the hands are between thigh and calf, and hold here. If you want a bit deeper, you can hold your shin. If you want, you could also stretch out your left leg. I personally quite like holding my shin, and here, but whatever feels good to you, and wherever you are, sort of push your knee back with your right knee back a little bit. That intensifies it. Just with your mind, activate your leg and push the knee sort of towards the room, towards the way that your left shin is pointing, to activate that a bit more, feeling that stretch in your right glutes. And if you want, you can also maybe see if you can hug your left knee a bit, left leg a bit tighter in, to activate that as more as well. Staying here for a few breaths, really nice everyone. And letting go wherever you're holding your hands, placing your left foot down on the ground again. Let go of the left foot, the right foot, stepping that back next to the left foot. Going to do the same thing on the other side, so lifting our left leg, placing the left ankle, the left foot between, on the right thigh, between knee and hip. And we're going to either stay here, just maybe pushing that left leg, the left thigh away a little bit with the left hand, or we're going to grab the thigh, left hand through the gap between the thighs, right hand outside of the right leg, or holding the shin wherever feels good, or if you want, stretching that right leg to the ceiling. In that version you get a bit more of a hamstring stretch as well. Wherever we are, get comfortable. If your right leg is bent, imagine, or in either pose, imagine pushing that left leg, left knee out, away from your body a little bit, maybe hugging, bringing that right leg into the body a bit more, really stretching out those glutes. And letting go of wherever you're holding your leg, placing that right foot down, releasing that left foot, placing that down as well. Now we're going to hug both our knees into our chest, maybe hugging yourself, bring the arms around, having a little bit of rock from side to side here, massaging our lower back, maybe rolling so far that you're massaging the kidneys a tiny bit. And after the next rock, we're going to drop our knees to the right side so that both our knees are dropping to the right. Our arms are in a capital T. Legs are dropped to the right. And we're going to look towards the left. Palms are facing up. And we're going to breathe here in this really gentle twist. If you want to do it more intensely, you can cross your the top leg, the left leg here, around the right leg. That should intensify it, but you don't have to at all. Also, the closer your knees are to your arm, the more intense the stretch is. So just find what feels good for you. Closing the eyes, slowing the breath, enjoying the stillness. Next inhale, we're going to bring our knees back into center. We're going to drop them to the left now, the other side. Looking to the right, closing our eyes. Arms again at shoulder level, maybe reassessing. And again, if you want, you could cross the top leg, the right leg, around the thigh, if you want the stretch to be more intense. But that doesn't have to be done. And relaxing here. Next inhale, we're going to bring our legs into center one more time. If you want, you can come into Shavasana straight away, or maybe just have one more pose, come into Happy Baby. For that, we're bringing our knees quite wide, and you can either grab your ankles, or you can grab the outsides of your feet. We're going to flex the feet as if we were standing, so we're in a squat. I'm going to pull our legs really nice and tightly in. Imagine you want to flatten yourself, you want to bring your knees to the ground at some point. And if you want, rocking from side to side like a Happy Baby, having a bit of fun in this pose. Massaging the back again. And coming back into center. One moment in stillness here. And letting go of the feet or the ankles, wherever you're holding on. Bringing the legs down. You can either come into Shavasana, corpse pose, with your legs stretched out, and corpse pose, your feet flop out to the side. Or if you wanted, you could come into Tikonasana, reclining cobbler pose, so bringing the soles of your feet together, have your knees fall out of the diamond shape between your legs, We've worked on our hips quite a lot, so they should be quite nice and warm, nice and loose. This could be quite a nice way to keep that going. But Shavasana is always there for you. It's a beautiful pose. Wherever we are, with our legs are straight out, in Shavasana or Cobbler pose, arms are by the side of the body, palms facing up, hands are about 3 inches, 15 centimeters-ish away from our hips. Our shoulders are relaxed, nice and broad, shoulder blades, maybe a tiny bit together to open the chest a little bit. Our chin is tucked a tiny bit, have a nice flat neck, straight neck. Your eyes are shut, and your eyes and your forehead, all the facial muscles are really nice and relaxed, nice and smooth facial skin. We're lying here, breathing in and out through the nose, relaxing. Wherever we are, let's just feel where our body is touching the ground. Our hips, our upper back, shoulders, our upper arms, our lower arms, the backs of our hands. In Cobbler, the sides, the outside edges of your feet are touching the ground. If you're in Shavasana, thighs, calves, your heels are touching the ground. Feeling your hips, your glutes are heavy in the mat. Soft and open hips, your thighs, your knees, soft and warm. Your calves, soft, relaxed, your shins, smooth. Feet are not holding any weight now, very, very soft, very relaxed, grateful. The soles of the feet are just floating. They're not doing anything. The toes and toe joints are so much more mobile than they were earlier today. The whole lower body is smooth, warm and relaxed. Your lower back is gently hovering over the ground. Feel the movement of the breath in our back, in our upper back. Just pressing heavy into the ground. Our abdomen rises with every inhale and lowers with every exhale. The tide, the waves on the ocean. Feel the same movement of the breath in our ribs, in our chest, our collarbones, our throat. Chest is open. Smooth. Shoulders are away from the ears. Nice and smooth, no tension in them. The upper arms, elbows, lower arms, not holding any tension, not working the muscles, just relaxed and still. Your palms soft. Fingers are gently curled in. Your whole upper body is soft, relaxed,
and smooth. The back of your head is heavy on the ground, pressing into the mat. Forehead is smooth, not holding any tension, especially the place between your eyebrows is smooth, not trying to understand, not curling or wrinkling and frustration. Your eyeballs are heavy in your eye sockets. The muscles around your eyes relax. You're not having to read, understand, see. Your nose is soft, your nose is relaxed even. You feel the air flow in on the exhale and the warm air flow out on the exhale. Your jaw soft, no tension. The tongue lies in your mouth, not glued to the roof of the mouth. Your teeth very tiny bit apart. Your head is relaxed. Your entire body is relaxed. Slowly bring the awareness back into your body. Have a nice deep inhale. Maybe sigh on the exhale. Maybe one more time. Inhale. If the soles of your feet are together, stretch your legs out. Bring some movement back into your body. Move your wrists, move your feet. Bring your arms over your head together, bring your feet together and have a full body stretch. And bring your knees into your chest, rocking from side to side. Another little back massage. And we're going to roll onto our right side and place our head on our upper arm for one moment, upper right arm. And now bringing our left hand into our chest. We're going to press up into the ground, come up to a nice seated position. You want to keep your eyes closed for another moment, sitting here.
We're going to inhale, we'll make a nice big circle with our arms, bring your hands together over our head, looking to the thumbs, pulling the hands down, following the thumbs with our gaze. 2 more of those. Inhale, hands together overhead. Exhale, slowly following the thumbs with our gaze. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Hands into heart center. I'm going to bring our thumbs to space between our eyebrows, to our third eye for clearing kind thoughts. Thumbs to our throat for clearing kind words. And thumbs to our heart center for clearing kind feelings. Thank you so much for coming today, and thank yourself for taking this time. Have a lovely day.